So the first yoga pose we're going to talk about is doing any of these poses with our hands in the prayer position. In the martial practice, whenever we're sparring or anything, we need to keep our hands up. So if you think about the roots of a lot of martial arts, they're developed by monks, we have nuns, we have people that probably walk around in prayer a lot. Even in the yoga practice, we start at prayer. If you just bring this prayer position up, put one foot in front, one foot in back, and just bend your knees, you just get your hands in line with your ears, come out, and then open them. Now we're in a basic boxing stance, or defensive stance, what we want to call it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a quick yoga sequence, a couple poses from the warrior, and we'll talk about the ways that we can adapt them into the martial practice and why they exist. Let's start. So now let's talk about that sequence. When I'm here. So when I'm throwing punches all day, the self-defense of martial arts, self-defense of yoga starts with your internal self. If I'm always like this, I'm not getting proper breath at all. I can't breathe up. If we think about, there's two postures. Posture of a healthy person, shoulders back, and then there's the posture of a sick person. Oftentimes if you get a stomach ache, you think this. Ugh. So if I really think about the posture of a sick person, and I look at the posture of a person that's boxing, and they're here, I just look like a person that's sick. So what we want to understand is by pulling the arms back, it's just going to balance it out. We wouldn't fight from here. If anyone needs to defend themselves, you're probably not going to, right? You're probably not going to do that. But after all of this work and pushing, you want to be able to pull back, balance yourself out. First line of self-defense, balance. Next thing, when I'm throwing my hands forward, that can also mean once I come up out of the yoga mind into the more dynamic space, because if I'm moving around from here all day, I'm just going to get tired. Martial arts, yoga, evolution, it's all about being efficient. So what I want to understand is when my hands can come forward and my fingers are nice in line, that's also showing me that my hips and my hands are moving right to my center line, which is pretty easily established if I take my hands and go right to here. So in this line, if I go 1, 2, 3, this is also a boxer's 1, 2. This bringing it around gets small whenever we're in the dynamic world. So 1, 2, when I bring it around, it's just here, and I'm back. 1, 2. And then just bringing the leg up, rounding the spine, gives me that natural whip of the spine to generate real power. So 1, 2, I'm around, up, and back out. And I finally have the balance. I'm learning how to fire from the hip. So 1, 2. It's finding that line, finding the hip, finding the structure. If I fire from here, no, I'm off balance. My center of gravity is off. So I find the structure. Whew, there it is. Push forward. Back in. It's nice and clean, nice and soft. That's one of the first things.